Congratulations, man. You did such an amazing job on this. I saw the film last night with my son, and we just both absolutely loved it.
Awesome. Thank you. How old's your son?
He's 16.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
I know. It's crazy. It's this baby face. I know. Nobody ever believes me. First question.
I got a 17-year-old.
Is there anything that you can't do? Because you're singing in the credit scene like an angel, you're acting, directing. It's getting gross, man. I'm going to need you to slow it down.
Well, thank you. Can you tell my critics that? No, I'm kidding.
Do you have critics? I don't think that you have critics.
I'm sure
everybody loves you.
Quick Google search. I'm sure I'll find
I'm
someone.
in an echo chamber, but I think that everybody loves you.
That's very nice. I'll take your word for it.
Now, as the dad of a 16-year-old who's now taller than me, how old did you feel reuniting with Ty a decade later?
Crazy. I mean, it really is. It's awesome. I think because I also have a 17-year-old that is taller than me, so I love that. I was excited for that. I was excited to go toe to toe with Ty. I think that's. I think it's a nice rite of passage, and I think it's we roll very deep. I was first his dad and little children 18 years ago, so he was 3. So yeah, it was great to see him growing up into a nice young man.
Yeah, Ty's great. I really like Ty. Now, it's already been announced that you're returning as Ed Warren for Conjuring: The Last Rites. Now that you've got the Red Door under your belt, is there a chance you'd be interested in directing a Conjuring film next?
It's so funny. I didn't get any of these questions all morning, and now we got 3 in a row.
No, I feel terrible that I just asked you.
No, don't feel terrible. It's sort of obvious. At least to question it. The thing is, I don't know. All those guys are obviously my friends, and I know them well, and I wouldn't dare try to pitch myself for something that I didn't feel passionate about. So the honest to God truth, and I really mean this, is, and this sounds so lame, but I would have to see the story, because it's one thing I know will be taken care of as characters and actors, and I love that. I love those movies so much. I love David Leslie Johnson, all the writing that he's done. That being said, I know that if I've learned anything from this movie, it's what James told me, which is make it yours, make it personal. So I know that the next movie that I will choose to do, or that chooses me, it will have to be something extremely personal that really, that I can shape to things that I believe in. I could do this movie because I geared it around a father-son, a kid in art school like I went to. I went to theater college. So there were things that I felt like I had not an authority on, but a deep passion for, because I am all in. There hasn't been a day in 4 years that I haven't thought about this movie. So I got to make sure that whether it's Conjuring or any other movie, there's a different requirement when you're a director, regardless of just technically speaking, just, does it speak to you as a director? So that I don't know yet.
Speaking of something touching you personally, I mean, you've also, you've got a history with comic book films. So does directing a comic book film interest you at all? I ask as a guy who works for ComicBook.com.
Yeah.
But, if so, is there like a dream character that you'd love to possibly touch on one day?
Yeah, there is. I've never said this. You're about to get something. I've never said this, but I'll throw it out there. Yeah, you know what I've always wanted to do, what I've been fascinated by, is Hawaiian Dick. Do you know that graphic novel?
No, I don't, but I love the name.
Yeah. I was approached about that movie to act in it 100 years ago with Frank Karachi. And I have no idea where the rights are to that movie, but I always loved that series. It's a graphic novel. There are 4 books. Hawaiian Dick. Look it up. Throw it out there in the world.
I'm going to go look it up. You got a million people to talk to. I'm going to get out of your hair. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really love the movie. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Guys, the movie is awesome. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me. I'm very excited to talk with both of you. Now, considering that you're both horror masters, I need to know, what was your immediate reaction to watching Patrick's big directorial debut?
It was very exciting for me, and kind of felt like, like a proud dad in some way. My son, he's finally off to college, and this is the result. No, definitely very proud of what Patrick had created, what he had made with this film. Patrick and I go way back, and I've known the guy for a while. I know his love. I know that he's a big cinephile, and so for him to finally step up to the plate as director, it was very exciting for me. When I heard that we were going to come back to do another Insidious movie, I was like, okay, that's cool. But when Patrick was attached to it, it took it to a whole different level for me. I was like, okay, I can see the movie. Patrick's going to come back and he's going to tell his story, his family, from the story of the family from the first two films. And I cannot wait to see what this turns out to be. And
yeah, no, absolutely. After watching it and then realizing he was singing the end credit scene, I was like, good God, is there anything this guy can't do? Like, it's gross. I hate it. He's so talented. Jason, I wanted to ask you specifically. I am a giant Spawn fan, and a reboot was announced back in 2017. So I was curious. I mean, I got Todd McFarlane hanging right here. What needs to happen next so it can move forward? And what would you say to fans like me who are holding out hope that this movie materializes and is as awesome as I imagine it can be?
I would say you have a lot to hope for because it's in very, very active development. What needs to happen is my fellow friends, the writers, and the studios need to figure out their differences and get back to writing. But we've got a great group of folks putting it together, and my hope is that movie. My prediction is maybe we'll actually see a Spawn movie in 25. No promises, but that's my prediction.
Oh, I love to hear that. That's awesome. James, I wanted to ask you, what would you say to get fans excited about Aquaman 2 who otherwise might be reluctant to go see it because they feel like it's not a part of Gunn's new DCU?
Well, Aquaman, even the first film, has always been a very sort of standalone film. That was always our approach. That it kind of lives in its own world, and that's how we've kind of approached the Lost Kingdom as well. Is people love Jason Momoa, people love him playing this role, and people love like the action visual of this space, right, of this world, and that's what we're doing. We're taking it to the next level, and we sort of like expanding. And just for any fans of Aquaman, people that love the character, that love Black Manta, this is the next level, and I'm very excited to kind of like finally put it out there to show them what we've been working on all these years.
I can't speak for anybody else, but I will be there. That's all I can say. I promise you that I will be there. Guys, I really loved Insidious. This was amazing to get to talk to both of you. I wish I could talk to you guys for hours. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Chris.
Bye, guys. Guys, I could go on for like the next 5 minutes about how much I love the movie. I watched it last night with my son. We both loved it. You guys killed it. It's so good. Ty, seeing as how your character's name is Dalton, is it any coincidence that you're rocking the Patrick Swayze hair?
Look, man, hey, coincidence or not, I look good. So that's all that matters.
Look, I'm not arguing, man. It felt very Roadhouse. I loved it. I was like, man, this guy, it's just making me so, I was jealous. I can't do it like that. So, no, it looked great. Now, serious question, though. Very few people get a chance to play a character as a kid and then return to that character as an adult. So what were some of the challenges figuring out like who Dalton has become?
I mean, I think the biggest challenge is just like what his personality is. You see him as a kid, and people as kids are just so different than who they are as adults. But also when it's a movie character who is a kid and they don't really fully flesh them out. And, as a kid, you're just there to be scared or to be creepy or whatever it is. Now I have to find out who Dalton is and also at the same time make him likable while making him very dark and moody and gloomy. But that's where all the fun came in, and a lot of conversations with Patrick made that very easy, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Now, Sinclair, I need to know if you have any more sage wisdom from Grandma Perky.
I'm so jealous of Chris's Grandma Perky because she sounded like anytime you were in a situation, Grandma Perky had a nugget of knowledge that somehow perfectly applied to what you were going through. So maybe I'll go through and write some down.
Now, was it intimidating, though, for you coming into a film with these other actors who have essentially been a family for over a decade, just being the newcomer?
Yeah, I would definitely say that. When I first got there, I was feeling exactly that. I felt like I was walking into a family, and like, hi, I'm your neighbor or something, like, you know. But everybody was super warm and welcoming immediately, so I didn't have too much time to even sit in that feeling of, you know, othering, because we just got to work and we were playing and everyone just wanted to have a good time. So yeah, it was fun.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, Dalton in the film is an aspiring artist, and some of the art it's fantastic. So did either of you get to keep any of the artwork for yourself?
Ricky, who's the guy who actually did the art, drew a nice little picture of me that Dalton was supposed to have drawn and put up in his room, and I think I have that because it looks exactly like me, and it's a drawing, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
it's a great set gift. Yeah.
You didn't get any artwork, Sinclair?
No, Chris is a mathematician, so I guess a calculator, but no.
Did you at least get to keep the piano thing that you blow into? I don't remember what that thing's called.
The melodica, I did not get to keep that. I hope its home is with someone who's more skilled and knows how to use it.
Well, guys, I know you're talking to a million people today. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me. I really love the film, and Ty, it's so great to finally get to talk to you face to face for once. I hope we get to meet in person soon.
Of course, always a pleasure.
Hi, Lin.
Hi.
It's so nice to meet you. At the risk of sounding creepy, can I just say that I love you and your work, and I've been a big fan of you since I was a little kid.
It's creepy. Are you kidding? That's what I live on. You want to say it again? Yeah.
Sure. I love you and your work, and I just think you're the best. And so first question, you know, when Elise's ghost isn't stopping by to offer guidance to the Lamberts, how do you think she's spending her time in the afterlife?
Ooh, what a great question. That's going to be the next movie. That's really, I haven't really ever thought about. I mean, I think about, you know, the further is very undefined. Mm-hmm. There is definitely room. I'm serious about another story, because there's what really goes on in the further. All we know so far is about the lipstick demon. I actually do have an idea that of a storyline.
I'm talking to Jason a little bit later. If you let me know, I'll just go ahead and pass it on to him so we can get this going.
I kind of almost mentioned it once. I mean, I think Elise is looking for something in the further, which I don't want to say too much about, but something that we didn't know that she had, a part of her family that has been taken by the red-faced demon and made his own. And there'd be something that she's now on a mission of her own.
Yeah.
Reclaim this part of her life. So,
you know what? One ticket sold already. I'm there.
I mean, there's a lot of room for one. First of all, because the further is so not defined really yet.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of places. I have all kinds of great ideas. I really do, about things that she could tackle or do and what she could become. So.
No, I think you're spot on. I mean, we've seen little teases of it, but we still don't have an idea of what it is. And then I also feel like Elise is, you know, she's clearly a lot more at peace than maybe like some of the other ghosts that you see wandering around the further, right? But
she knows how to work it.
Yes.
She has a grace to her. I mean, that you know, don't forget, Elise was married. You know, and she may have had a child. What we're talking about.
I like where you're going with it. Now, you've always been so convincing as a psychic when you play Elise. And so have you ever attended a seance or attempted to contact the dead in any way in real life?
No. And I have.
Because I have a Ouija board right here. We can do it together.
No, wait, I have to tell you something though. See, I take exception. I don't think Elise is a psychic. I think Elise is a listener. And she's like got fabulous antenna. She hears everything that goes on. But I think she's got an ability, but I don't think she's a psychic.
Is it clairvoyant? Is that maybe the word for it?
I resist putting a title on what she does.
Fair enough.
Because I feel like, again, she's a receiver. She's like her sensitivity is to anything and everything around her that she allows in. And that's why she's got to be careful, because she can also let in the wrong things because they're all there for her.
Right.
And I don't believe other people have that. She's got an ability. Actually, there's another a story that's just being written and told. And I had changes I made about that very aspect, that she's not a psychic. That's a profession. She doesn't have a profession. She has an ability to, because she's a seer. So yeah, that's just the way I think of her.
I got one more question real quick for you, just because I think you're also so hilarious, and there's something about Mary is my favorite comedy of all time. Just for fun, what do you think Magda might be up to today?
She's still tanning.
It's amazing. I love that she's even still alive.
Got her martini and she's still tanning and happy as can be.
Yeah. Lin, thank you so much for the time. I know you're talking to a million people. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Great questions. And she's not a psychic. She's just got an ability.
All right. I'm going to jot it down. Thank you.